Well, greetings, travelers, and of course, all you builders out there. It's me, Kevin C, here at Action Pants Gaming with another live tutorial. And probably an extended amount of building stuff. But we'll try and make this a quick one, actually. Because I think what we're going to do after this is get some inspiration out of Cyberpunk, maybe. Alright, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to build one of these funky little SRT, or otherwise known as the Short Range Teleporter. A little pedestal. I think they're really neat. It's a good way to kind of dress up your SRT a little bit. Dark Hellboy, what is going on? Now, I'm sure some of these techniques are known. Not really much in the way of technique here. It's just, it's a design element that I thought other people might like to use. So I thought it would be interesting to get a little mini tutorial out there. I mean, it's pretty simple to see. There are a few things in here that you will, have to do in order to make it work. But if you are proficient with your glitch building, this shouldn't be too difficult. And even if you're not proficient with your glitch building, if you can get one of these things down, you should be okay. Well, one of two things. And if you watch and pay attention a little bit, you'll kind of even probably learn it just watching it. So, let's get to it, shall we? Now, if we take a look here, we're going to see that this is the stone version. We're going to move over. I'm going to delete all this afterwards, but I built this already in a minute. You can, do other styles. This one just happens to look good for the city, but you can make them in any style you wish. And we'll get on that. If you notice here, I don't know if you're noticing the light. I got lucky on this one. Now with the light on this one up here, I don't know how I did it. I wish I knew what made it happen. I don't know what it is that made it happen, but the sticker managed to disappear minus the part I needed. So I was fully expecting the full sticker to be there, but something happened. It, phased in there and just the right way. And we got lucky. And this is kind of a fancier way of doing it, but if you want to color code it or do other things, I'll show you some little tricks, which I picked up doing a live stream the other day, but I thought some of these tricks might be found out a little easier if I labeled it as a tutorial. I was wondering if you use a light visor, do the glow color of the teleporter change? That's a sticker. And real quick, what we'll do, I'll show you. I've been doing it to kind of color code and get, just practice. That's what the city is about. If you look at this one here, the sticker is nice and faint, and it's blue. You see how it goes to the white there in the gap of that sticker. Kind of gives a little flash. And if we just want to make sure my dirt is not, I had a big terrain, when you get into multiplayer, some terrain will grow back on you. But if we look at the teleporter pad that I got going over here, as we walk in, we can actually immediately see we've got a red, a blue, and a green, right? And notice that little arrow animation that normally you can't see, which we've also fixed that a bit. So we've got the blue one right here. Got a red one. We've got the fancy one. And we've got the green one. So in order to change the colors, we'll get into that afterwards, but I just wanted to show you real quick. Also, if you notice here, see the arrow? And see how nice and clear that arrow is? Sad, what's going on? How you doing? Alright, now I gotta remember where I decided to build that little thing. I got a little demo thing and I'm like, where did I put it? There it is. Alright. And because we're on a nice airless, lifeless planet. Alright, so here's a few examples of the pedestal, okay? The SRT pedestal. This is my favorite, is the stone one. I think this one looks the best. However, this one looks pretty cool as well. And you can even drop these down. We'll get into that in a minute. But I like the way the back looks. It looks very, this, has got more of a futuristic look to it. And then, again, another, made of alloy. The wood ones, I tried some wood ones. I didn't care for them, but you might. But the nice thing with the part swap is you can build one and start swapping the parts. Once it's built, you can do whatever you want in terms of just changing the part out. The difficult part with this is there's a couple of manual placement things. One of them is kind of a real drag to deal with. Well, not a real drag, but it can be a little finicky. This is my other favorite one. I like how the light kind of goes into an hourglass shape here. I think this one is also very neat. All your builds are wooden. Rico, what's going on? So again, what I built in the city, I decided, hey, maybe people might like, to use this and have a way to make a funky looking teleporter station. Now, you can do these. I like them at the angle, but you don't need to do it like this. You can come at it square, okay? And to come at it square, what you could do is just build. There are a few ways to make this, like everything in the game, okay? I like them put in a corner. I think it looks the best that way, particularly with this here. But as a standalone pedestal, depending on where you want to put it in your build, there's a couple of methods you can do. And let's start with one of them. I'm going to do one that I haven't really done, but if you want to put it, say, somewhere in the middle. All right, this floor is already flipped. All right, let me, I got to get this so that I need a right side up floor here. All right, let's start fresh. Okay. So again, I like them cornered like this, as its own standalone. But you could go a different way, I suppose. All right, let's get a fresh right side up so I can show you from the beginning here. All right, what you're going to need for this is you're going to need your typical moving tools, what I like to call my moving tools, which consist of the block, the pyramid, and the raised small paving. All right, so once you have that, now we're going to go with the corner version, okay? And you can set this up however you want, where you want it. Basically, the concept is you need, also you need one of these. You're going to need some form of short wall, and you're also going to need some form of short stair, and you will also need, obviously, your short-range teleporter, and what am I missing? You're going to need to get a wire sized for the rooftop. I may cheat on that one, but I may not, so you can see the whole process. But these are the basics of what you're going to need for the pedestal. And then you're going to need to start with a choice of material. I'm going to go with this here. And I found that since you can't copy this part yet, it's best just to lay out a couple of them. So if you make a mistake, you need some, whatever, it's already there until they hopefully fix the copy on that. The other thing is you are going to need a total of 4 of these for the pedestal, 2 right side up and 2 upside down. Okay, so what I've been doing at the moment with this, it's pretty straightforward. So say we want to put it, you know, in this corner here, right? Or you could even center it somewhere, you know, around here. It doesn't matter. We're going to grab one of these, and if you want to center it, all you got to do is take one. If you want to put this in the center of a floor, for example, these are a half wall distance. So all you got to do is that, and now you're centered. Which, if you remember a couple live stream ago, I was like getting way overcomplicated to try to fix that problem. But if you want it starting at a center point in your floor, for example, then you know you would want to do something along these lines. So, and then depending on which direction you wanted it to face, you would then have to, you know, move some stuff around. So, because if it is at an angle, it's a pedestal. You could also do a 4-way one like we have downstairs. I like them kind of off the corner of the wall, kind of its own thing. So that's kind of what we're going to do now. So you're going to start with 2 right side up. All right. And actually, we could even move this forward if we wanted to. Let me see here. Just so we can avoid the corner a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, so see what I mean by you can start moving that around? All right. So if you wanted to bring it out a little further, you could. All right, I'm actually going to leave it there. So, all right. Here we go again. So, get your palette ready, your moving tools, your pyramid, your block, your short raised paver, small floor panel, short small wall, small stairs, half arch, and an SRT. All right, once you have this, your first 2, you're going to take a short wall. Actually, you don't need to. I forgot. But I do this just for a height reference. You're going to go, and then you're just going to move this one up. So it passes like that. You don't need the short wall. I do it just so I know I'm in the right height. All right, because you want to go 2 up so that this is sitting, you know, this lip is sitting on the top here. You don't need these. You can actually do it without. But again, I just happen to like having my reference. But see here, you can, I thought you, well, never mind. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Much like the wall, you can kind of go down on the wall sometimes, but apparently it's not doing it now, so I'm not going to argue. You're going to get that out of your way. You're going to bring this one up to match. Then you're going to flip this floor upside down. Okay, and you could also do it by taking another floor, leaving that floor, and just putting it in the corner. All right. Either way, however you want to do it. You know, if you want to keep that floor from being an upside down floor, you're going to have one upside down part, so it should be fine. All right. So now we're going to get our moving tools. We're going to start with the paver. We're going to put that in our cache. We're going to copy the block. Oh, nope, other way around. Strike that, reverse it. We're going to copy the block. We're going to put that into our wire cache. We're going to then copy our paver. We're going to universal adjacency. Now we're going to copy our paver. See, I was getting ahead of myself. And we're going to copy our pyramid. We're going to universal adjacency. We're going to delete these floor panels for now, just so it doesn't confuse anything. Now we're going to move that. We're going to grab our uncopyable part. We're going to move that so that it's upside down in the corner. And now we're going to back this out 3. Get that out of our way. And we're going to remove that. We're going to bring that back in. If you have legacy parts or a stone floor, I would go with one of these for right now. We're going to grab ourselves a concrete floor panel just to see when we're snapped in properly. And then we're going to part swap that out. And now we should have a right side up floor here, right? Which should allow the short wall to have either, you know, it still should be we should still have our upside down, or we should be able to pick a right side up if we want. All right. So now you should have the base of the pedestal, which is this here, which you can then switch out to any one of the other materials and get yourself a slightly different look. All right. Now once you have that, you grab your short wall. You're going to build here, here, and here. All right. And with this, actually, how many up is this? Let me see what this does. Oh, now you're acting the way you're supposed to. All right. Fine. Be that way. What's your height? You are a short wall and actually you want this upside down as well. But you're a short wall and what? 1, 2, 3. No, short wall and 2. Alright, so you're short wall and 2. Short wall is 4 and 2 is 6. So we should have a total of 6 of these. If we wanted to flip something around, if we couldn't. Alright. Alright, so now you have your basic pedestal here. Now we're going to grab the floor panel, but I want a particular floor panel color. So I'm going to grab the stone. I'm going to do our color glitch. I'm going to do gray and black. But I still want one of these, so. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that floor panel, and I'm going to drop it in to the bottom part, so that we should still have this gap here. Alright, so this should be snapped to the bottom of that short wall. And for me, I wanted that black coloration underneath. So, excuse me. You know, I had to flip it. You don't necessarily need to flip this, all right? It's just, that's a personal, style decision. Okay, so now that you have that put in there, we're going to make the roof. Now the roof is on fire. Needs to be custom made in order to fit. And it should be about the size of the internal square on a legacy floor panel. That's roughly the size you want. Okay. So in order to do that, at least the last time I attempted this, what I did was, if you know how to size up your parts, you're going to grab something to scale a wire with. I like the table. I'm going to change the color on it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I'm just going to snap place this just to get the, I mean, I have one. If I get frustrated, I'll make it quicker. But just to show you, we're going to grab your roof, and we're going to, simply place it. So right around 20 in that vein is going to get you about the size you need. Okay, you can see we're close. So we'll do another one, and it might just be the full scale down. I don't remember, but we'll try that as well. If it's full scale down, we're in luck, because then we don't got to worry about nothing. And I think it might be. I think that does bring us to the quarter mark, like I was thinking. But let's check that while we're here. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to get the color. And I'm just going to shrink it down all the way. Oh. And we're going to see what we get out of that. I think it's going to be too small at that point. Yeah, I know we're going to be too small. But we'll give it a shot. We'll see what we get. No harm, no foul. This is where it gets a little finicky, this portion of it here. Yeah, see, I knew it was going to be too small. All right. So it is right around 20, but when you're tapping on the controller, it's not super accurate. Try to get it as accurate as you can. So, oops. 17, 18, 19, 20. Right around there. We'll go 23 for the next one. See, it's not quite all the way down. So you kind of have to, this is where I was saying, this is why I do these live. So you can kind of see, like, it doesn't always, happen like the edited tutorial. And especially something like this. Thirteen, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We'll go 25. Because it doesn't always go according to the tutorial. Yeah, 25 is probably, we could even probably go 30 on that. But see how it's almost still kind of the same size? I like to go a little bit smaller just because it'll drop in a little bit more. And it's kind of a little easier to see whether or not you're centered. Because you're centering inside, this portion here. So now I can't tell when I'm drawing too far back. That's where it becomes kind of an issue. But, alright, we'll try a little bit. Try another one until you get it. Again, this is why I do it live, just so you can see the struggles that we must endure to build little things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. See, all the way down was too small, but I have a feeling we should probably be counting from all the way down and counting up. But that looks pretty good right there. Yep. Alright, so we'll say 30 on that count. I'd still like to go a little bit smaller. And then you just want to kind of place it so that it fits in the spot, Yeah, that's still too large. So what we're going to do in the essence of time is we're going to already have one. But this is kind of the size you want, and this is why, because you can actually, it's a little bit smaller than everything, and it allows you to kind of get it a little bit more lined up. And it just happens to fit a little better. Okay. Cuts down, closes the seam. All right. Once that, at some point you're going to want to save. Now you're going to get this part, which is another one of the manual placement bits. You're going to bring this floor in. You're going to put it on free placement. You're going to drag it up and see where that carved detail is, you're going to go above that, and then see, and this is what the X-ray is really nice with. You want to get above there, and that's kind of your starting point. You can also just kind of go down, drop it a little bit. But you don't want to be below that. Let's put it that way. This is a little bit finicky. But what you're trying to do here is you're measuring to see and make sure that you have some of the light coming out. All right, so that you're not, I mean, you don't have to. You could put just the tube of light in there. You don't have to have that. I particularly like that bit because then we can do other stuff. So once you're kind of satisfied with the height, you know you got some poking out there. You want to now copy that, and sometimes it helps to remove a bunch of stuff here. Because we got a ton of snap points here. There we go. And you want to just kind of give yourself a nice even platform here to work with. Now that you have your roof on, you take your short range, throw it in at an angle, and just kind of line it up to that V. Everything is centered as you can get it. Bring this forward, and you can see how it phases through right here, right? Now you're going to draw it back, and you got some sticking out. You want that. You want it. See how it's above the short wall there? You want to kind of keep that as centered as possible. And once those feet, the platform kind of tucks in behind, that should be good placement. Like right about there. Like, see how those feet were still kind of sticking out a little bit? Now we're going to place that. You should have a little bit kind of folding over the top. You should have a little bit of the foot of this right here, kind of poking up over the top there. Then you're going to grab whatever flooring you're going to want to use. I like this one. And you're going to pop it on top here, so that you should have a little bit of that base just poking through, right? Just that part. Doesn't matter if this sticks out or not, you know. It really isn't a big deal. And if you wanted to, you could actually hide that. Change the floor style. That helps to hide it a little bit. It's a little thicker of a part. Or we could flip those short walls right side up, and that would actually give us a little bit more coverage as well. But to begin with, I like using this floor. Actually, it doesn't really matter. My fault. I apologize. We're going to just put that in there because that's what I want in the end. Now, I usually leave this here until I'm done at the end. Hey, welcome, Wolfheart. All right, so that's the base right there. That's it. I mean, you know, a little, do it one or, you know, 2 or 3 times, and you're gonna, you know, you'll be making these without even thinking about it. And then honestly, you can do the stairs any way you want. You can, or you can, you know, bring it down lower, you know, beneath a little bit by 1 or something like that, and drop this down, and now you know, don't have to have the pedestal. You can have this in the floor. I personally like the little pedestal part of it. All right, so now once you got that, you're going to grab your short stairs of choice, you're going to put that into a free placement. And then it's really just a question of some patience. What I've been doing is kind of get that center line lined up. Drop it down wherever you want it. And this actually covers the feet as well. I put it right about here, like, or I'll like bring it out where, see how it breaches that trim at the top right there. Now I'll just kind of bring it down a little bit so that that disappears. Now you got a good blend. And then from there, all you got to do is copy your short wall. Now that's going to be flipped the opposite direction because that's right side up, right? And there you have it. One short range teleporter pedestal. And then from there, it's just a question of your imagination and what you want to do and how you want to decorate, light it, and all that other stuff. But what I found so far that works really well are stickers. Stickers are great. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about again, and it's going to kind of react different on each one of them and how close you have another one in proximity and, you know, how it's lined up into the pedestal and whether or not the moons of Saturn are aligned on an alternate Thursday. But, like, for example, this sticker on this particular material, you know, and you're fighting through collision bubbles and things of that nature. And then again, to demonstrate, you know, this is a pedestal, the four-way, like a central hub. You know, and other ways to decorate it, lighting. If you want to color code your teleporter, and again, we did cover this yesterday, but for anyone who missed it or was fast forwarding and it didn't see anything like I suggest people do. What's going on, Paul? How you doing? Yeah, I figured I would, you know, label it tutorial so you could actually see what's going on here. So we have made these now. These, because I could choose the color, this is just a 0. You kind of see how it makes a nice little colored, you know, marking. So you can, you know, on the outside somewhere else, you can be like, oh, the red one's going to take me over here, and the other red one's going to take me over here. You know, and yes, I could be a little bit better with the sticker, but some of that you can't. It doesn't matter. It's a collision bubble from the other sticker. You know, you're trying to line it up the best you can with whatever perspective you're looking at. But as you can see, we've got the green, the RGB, the red, blue, and the green. And it's just getting the stickers placed in the right spot. And see here how I did this one as a pedestal. So yeah, I started crossing over the short walls and it just looked horrible. So I did this. And that's basically the short range, the SRT pedestal. I think they're really neat. And there's a number of different ways you could actually start decorating it and making it your own. Or you could do the exact same thing right here. It does, you know, that's the whole fun of this. But if we kind of go over here, the only thing that you got to worry about is your color for this portion that I'm about to, you know, now that we have this part swapping bit, you can take any one of these and change any part of it at any time, which is so awesome. You're like, oh, actually, you can't on this. That's right, because you can't copy. Once you've chosen that, you're stuck with it. That's right. So, all right, if you want to do a part swap, the best thing to do is just start with the standard part. So, for example, let's get rid of this one here, right? So let me get rid of some of this that we don't need. So I'm going to get rid of one of these, and I'm going to select the standard arc, right? Half arch, rather. Alright, so now we've got a standard piece in there. Forgot you couldn't swap with a chosen... Alright, didn't lose anything, everything good. The only thing you might lose if you do that would be stickers that you may have placed. But now, you know, we've already got everything already set up. So now it's just a question of changing, you know, certain aspects. But right here, you know, we just switched it to that. Immediately a different look. And then, you know, for those of you who, you know, tend to build with wood, you could go with either, well, if you have it, you could go with the old school, the legacy, or you can go with this. And that's so awesome with the part swap. It really, really is. That's so cool. And now you've got that. Which still looks really good, actually. Change the color of that, probably look even better. Change it to like a gray and black. Now you have this style. Then you're like, well, wait a minute. That's wood. I don't want... Let's make it all wood. Let's just see what it looks like with a bunch of wood stuff going on, right? All right, so let's change that to that one, that one. We'll change all this. Yeah, the part swap is pretty freaking cool, actually. It's like, yeah, I don't like that style. What would it look like in wood? You know, and there you go. What does it look like in wood? Looks like that. So that's the beach version. But because the wood is a different thickness, notice how now we're looking at more of the platform. So, you know. Oh, we forgot the roof. Hold on. Oh, flat timber. There we go. That looks good. And there's a wooden version, you know, so it's a pretty neat little thing, you know, a little decorative item. That's also, once they fix the teleport wire, that's actually usable. I'm sorry, that's a viable part. Oh, that's right, because that runs into the... Oh, yeah, that's doing the same thing it is. Okay, never mind. There you go. Now the sticker portion, that you're either going to get lucky with or you're not. In terms of, yeah, see, so this one, the sticker is actually going through. So when you drop it in, we're missing, oh, no, right there. You know, it's not showing the whole of the sticker. And now you've got, you know, nice color changing, you know, a little bit of different, depending on how you position the sticker, what you're going to see. Or if you don't want to use that and you want a color code, then you would go into your stickers. I've been using this one. It seems to work pretty well. Rotate the sticker around for, you know, so the flat part is there. You want to kind of drop it right on that. Figure out what color you want. For this, we'll go red. Red. Scale it up. And then depending on what you're willing to put up with on your backdrop. And now you've got a red. And notice how this one's actually showing here on the wood. The other one didn't. But now you have a, you know, nice color code. It actually changes the light. You do the same thing on the floor. And there you go. Now you have a, you know, a nice color-coded teleport, SRT. Now I'm sure somebody out there has got to have done this by now. I don't see why they wouldn't have. I had not seen it yet, so I thought it was pretty neat. Now with the wood, you may get some weirdness apparently. Because it's super thin. So watch out for that. I like this one. The only thing I wish is that I could get this a darker color. But part of it too is it's a legacy piece and there's something wrong with the legacy pieces. Like, see how I'm seeing through that? I should not be seeing through that. So there's something wrong with the rendering on the legacy pieces. See how that is doing what it's doing there? They're not textured and rendering properly. But what I do like about it is I like how it does that hourglass. You know, it looks really good. You know, like that. See how it kind of totally changes the look of it until you get up on it and then boom, you know. And that's basically it. Play around with the idea. And all you got to do is build one, but remember, whatever you start with for a part, you're going to want to, all right, so say, and this may tear the stickers off, say I don't like that anymore and I want to go, you know, now look at what we have. We only have you know, these choices, right? So now if I bring that in, and then I swap it again, it doesn't give me the other choices for the stone. So, you know, you remember to keep that in mind. See what another legacy one looks like. Oh, actually, that looks really good. Change the color of that, though. Stickers might have to be worked with, but I should double check, make sure that didn't get altered somewhere else like that. Oh, and that's just, you know, using the part swap, which is freaking awesome. Like, it really, really is. All right, now that sticker's got the entire floor, so you gotta keep an eye on that. Oh, why not? We'll go legacy all the way. Get a legacy rooftop here. Where's the roof? Where's the roof? Did I ever put a roof on this one? I don't think I did. I might have deleted it too. That's entirely possible. There it is. All right. Legacy. What do we got for legacy? There we go. Actually, we probably don't even need this now. Pink. Legacy, man. Holy mackerel. Oh, that's trapped in there, though. That floor panel is. Oh, wait. We found a spot. And that's a legacy version. I mean, see, and it's so cool because all you got to do is just build one of the darn things and you're going to be pretty much ready to go. But if you want to go changing parts, just remember to, you know, start with the non-chosen contextual bit there. You want to just kind of go with the standard part. All right, last trick I'll show you, and then I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back in a little bit with Cyberpunk. I have a 5-hour trial. I was going to do it last night, but some stuff happened, and I unfortunately was not able to do it. what I love about this as well is you put a part like this on. You got to be careful with this though. This might delete on you. The stickers and the lights can sometimes act funny. If we were to stay with Legacy, that would be ugly, but let's see what it does. Yeah, see, we lost our light. Alright, so you got to kind of watch out for that. Any questions? I mean, they're super simple. Not a whole lot to these. Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to get into, but again, was in stream yesterday. If you weren't around yesterday, cutting down on bloom. Here's me messing around with some design aspects, right? Just playing around with some ideas. And a total part count for one of these, we will figure out momentarily. So total part count is 1. Don't need these, but good to have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 parts to make one of those. and stickers, but just the base model till you get fancified and add the options. All right, now, if anyone wants to see it again, yes, they are resized roof panels. So kind of to go over a few things here again. Let me get rid of this. If anyone wants another demonstration, let me know. I had that roof piece sized. That is going to be one of the more difficult portions of this. And what I mean by difficult is fiddly. I'm going to reload. Oh no, if I do that, I'm going to have all those parts there. I'm going to save. And then we're going to reload. And then we're going to get an accurate part count. All right. Sorry. The most fiddly portion of it is getting the size of the roof. That's it. And you don't need to. You don't need to put a roof on it. Okay. You can make it and then just put a floor panel there and keep it flat. Decorate it a different way. But to reproduce what we just did here and what I've got on my city, yes, you have to resize. And it's depending on the taps you do on the controller is kind of how many and whether or not you're on PC, how old your controller is. But basically what it boils down to is a little trial and error. You probably want to start with the smallest size and then kind of scale up a little bit. And then once you have one made, you just keep copying it, boom, boom, boom. So, if you're going to make a few of them, you know, like I have done. Still think I need to put a light here too. Maybe not. Maybe something small, or maybe a control. Something. Any questions? Do we need to see one made one more time? Do you even like it? I do. I was hoping you all might. And it's just kind of a nice way to dress up a teleporter, you know? Change it up a little bit, make it look deep. Change the color of the light, because we can't any other way. You know, you can't just be like, I'm going to make this, you know, one gray and red, and then the lights are red. You know what I mean? And the body of it's like gray with red highlight. You know, the light would be the accent color, if you will. You know, or something in, although that would be kind of weird too, because what if you didn't want the base color to be like orange and the highlight color was blue, for example? Like what if you wanted gray and blue, or black and blue, or, you know, something along those lines. I love the light color, the changing of the lights. That's one of my favorite bits. Because it really, you know, it adds motion, it's, you know, changes it up enough where it makes it a little bit different than, you know, what we've been looking at for many years at this point. Not that that's a bad thing, it's still a cool item. Looks great by itself, but if you're looking to incorporate it a little bit more into your build, where it's not just a piece that is Master Cyberpunk, what is going on? Love the name, love that genre of stuff. Grey Eagle, what's going on? Grey Eagle, no. Paul Smashler, hold on, what about using the small lights behind the little white control panel? Okay, so, actually I haven't done it here yet. So, see how bloomy this is right now? I mean, this one little part right here, I'm going to circle my cursor around it. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, now see how bloomy that is? That's really overly bright. As I back up, notice there's like two circles in here, and what looks like an arrow, right? Seeing that? And as we get closer, we can't see diddly, right? But as we kind of get away, we can kind of see it, sort of, but it's still overly bright. Now, there is a way to fix that, so that you can actually see it. See the difference. Now, there's no crazy amount of bloom. It is covered. And you can actually see the animation that somebody spent time on. It is not blocked out by bloom. So, in order to fix that bloom problem, if you don't already know, more stickers. I love stickers. For this particular one, I would use this normally, but I'm at my 50 count. And what you could do here is, if you didn't need to shrink it, because then you'd be guessing again, is you could take this. Yeah, see, I'd have to enlarge it. So this one I don't recommend actually for here. This is for like the tube light, the fluorescent light. So for this, I would go with the number 1 decal. I would change the color to black. And then you're going to rotate it horizontally like so. You're going to bring it up. Oh, what's going on here? There it is. All right. And see how we're we're covering the outer bevel of this, and see how we're already seeing that lower portion more. See the upper strip still got a lot of bloom, a lot of reflection. So then I'm going to take that number one, I'm going to rotate it again so that it's nice and parallel, as parallel as the game will allow you to get. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to cover the remaining portion of that, and look at that. Now it looks like a nicer piece, even more. Now you're like, wow, that piece looked cool before, but now it looks cooler because somebody took time to put an animation in it, and now I can actually see it. And you're like, oh wait, another portion of it that adds to the look. You know, it just looks nicer. All right, and Mr. Cyberpunk, you would be the judge for this city, I suppose. I do want to hook these up, but I'm waiting for them to hopefully fix the aesthetic. Thank you, Paul. Better aesthetic. Thank you. That was the word I was struggling to find. Thank you for picking my brain and finding it. You know, I added in a little light here, you know. Say you wanted to dull this down a little bit. Go with that number one sticker. Actually, for this one, I'd go with the circular one. It's a green light, so I'm going to go with a green sticker. We're going to shrink that down. We're going to try to cover some of that. Or you could go with the number one in this case. Shrink that down. Probably a better choice here. You'll get a little less spillover. Put that on there. Drop it around over to this side. Kind of help cut some of that. See now how we still have a hot spot, but look at the difference left to right. See here, much more natural. I like this a lot better. This here, very bright, a little overly bright. See how much further this extends out. Nighttime, we're going to look at that a little bit differently. But see, just as I come over here, it's still giving us a nice wash, but yeah, it's harder to see over here because of that light. But see, we also have this. That's a little bit unfair. We do have the light coming from that screen. The other way to color code these is to use that same spot we were just, and I just fixed that one, so I don't want to do it again. But notice how, like all of these now, I've covered this so that you can actually see that animation. This needs a sticker for color coding here. We'll get to that at another point. I think I have a teleporter up top we can look at. Just making sure nothing's been deleted. You know, we are at 8,000 plus parts now, so making sure everything's rendering. Everything seems to be doing fine still. Gotta get that out of the floor. Everything still seems to be here. Blinking's not too bad. Well, I just said that, so now it will be. Alright, here we go. don't know if I... Yeah, it doesn't look like I put stickers on. Okay. So again, see the bloom? See how like fuzzy and washed out this is here? Double dash, what's going on? So now, to get rid of that, again, we could do what we did over here. Because notice here, we can actually see this one. It could be the lighting at the moment, but it's pretty distinctive, different. Oh, yeah, I have this sticker covering, that's right. That's why this one. See, we got the guy here. Alright. Now, another way to color code them, though, you know, if you want to color code them, it's just, again, taking that number 1 sticker, choosing your color, and in different lighting you'll be able to see. Alright, so now, as you can see here now with that bloom, right, now this is all glowing red here, right, and then, alright, well, I don't want red, let's say I want blue. And trying to do this doesn't always happen. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now, the interior, see how it's now glowing blue. Double dash. You're up for hire in NMS? Yeah, to an extent. But see, now we have a blue glow to it. Alright. Then this one, say we want it green. Now, because we have a wall behind here, okay, your sticker is going to react a little bit differently. So you're going to have to decide whether or not you care or don't care about how much sticker shows up on the back of your wall. But, again, now we have one that glows green. Could you use my help on your portal base? Sure, Double D. So, again, another way to kind of change color code, you know, help yourself even. I know at least I'm an idiot and I get lost in my own builds on a regular basis. Yeah, we got flashing again. You know, it's just a nice way to help get you around. You know, for the city, I was like, oh, you know, if I have people visiting, you know, if they remember, you know, when they say, you know, you come in here and you're up here, right? And you're like, all right, this is blue. So if I step in this one, boom, and it brings me, you know, say down to, you know, the first level down here, boom, because this one is also blue, right? And then that way you're like, if you're walking by, you're like, oh, let's try to hit a blue one, boom. All right, and then the blue should bring you back up to that blue one up there, right? Or, you know, it goes down to that other one that's down there. You know, again, I don't have these hooked up right now. It's all aesthetics. See? um, wait 1 second, folks. Ow, ow. But, you know, instead of going, where's this teleporter? You could, you know, if you have somebody visiting your base and, you know, they went off in a different direction than you did. And, you know, you can be like, oh, hit the red, you know, the red teleport, you know, the red SRT. And that'll take you to this spot, you know, or hit the, you know, whatever, the blue one, that'll take you to this spot. And that was more words than I needed, but you get the idea. Hugo, what is going on? Welcome, welcome. Oh, hey, that's not really fun to look at now, is it? So I've been adding, you know, little bits here and there, little detail bits, try and make it a little bit more lived in, as much as I can with what we've got already. I mean, I've been doing the sticker thing on lights for a bit, as you can tell. This was built a while back, that light there. Same with that one. And that's why I ended up eating up my 50 sticker limit on this particular sticker. Double dash? All right, yeah. When would you like my help? So what I'll say first off is you're going to want to... Why does this keep... Is it because it's inside? It keeps twisting on itself. Oh yeah, I just added this little bit yesterday. Little mechanical, you know, air purifier thing. Paul, how do you get the light to flash, and can the speed be varied? Double get now? Yeah, I can show up at your joint. Give me a minute. I can show you all how to make a garden. I'll show you how to make one. You don't want one of these, do you? Because this takes way too much time. But I can get you started. You know, this took a little bit of effort. Granted, it was my first one, so the effort was me going, how do I do this? But now that I've made 3 of them, I have kind of a little pattern, a little technique that I use now. You know, it works relatively well. There are some crying moments where I have to rebuild. But, you know, this does work. Dives into his little cave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Flurb. There you are. Yeah, I was off by a little bit. My initial letter is a bit bigger. You'll see. Okay, gotcha. But you want... Hold on. So you want to do... You want to do a garden now, huh? All right. I'm waiting for the new grass. Let me know if you can join. Okay. What do you plan again? Double Dash, are you on PC? You may need to invite me or join me, then go to your base. Is it in creative or normal for starters? That will determine a little bit for me anyway. If it's a normal, I know I've got some resources, but I haven't been in my normal save in a little bit. PC, it's a normal. Okay, so you're going to actually have to invite me. So from console to PC, the only thing I can do is unadd you as a friend. So, Eagles, you missed what build, Eagle? The SRT platform here, or the rock garden, the firefly garden? Need something right here to the left of me, some sort of mechanical something here. This needs, what do you need? You have big dead space right here. Signage, another billboard. What build again, Eagle? What was that you missed? I'm sorry. Shite. There's double dash. And that's prepped for the next sign. Yeah, that will help. Okay. Oh, the garden. Gotcha. I did a quick little tutorial yesterday, I believe. Alright, so double dash. I'm going to have a hard time hearing you, however. So this is going to be interesting. Actually, you're going to... I'm in creative at the moment, so you're probably going to... I don't know how I'm going to have to be in normal. And then you're going to have to join me while I'm in normal. I think that's how it's going to work on PC. How the hell do people join each other? Oh, or I can join from the start screen. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, double D. Unless you want to walk around here for a minute. I don't know. It'd be interesting. We had an issue yesterday. Two friends of mine I hadn't talked to in a bit, Maji and Capsock. And here's a garden being prepared right here. Higgies, what's going on? I really want to get these freaking working, man. I'm afraid, though, that if I don't like it, that it's going to tear something out. I should do some tests on that. But if I do it any other way, it's going to be horrible. Double dash. I'll open up the landing pad for you. This one I had hooked up earlier. But see, there's a couple of areas. It's, you know, to get from the first to the second level requires a jetpack at the moment until they shorten the length of the teleport cable. So Double Dash, I don't know if you heard me, but okay, yeah, I'll switch to normal. Yeah. I didn't know if you were swinging in because you wanted to see something before we started. So I'll switch to normal. See if I can't just join you. Yep, right there. Oh, you're in creative at the moment. All right, switch over. Let me know when you're switched into your other save. Are you there, lad? Should be okay? All right, give it a shot. Here we go. Oh, I gotta go into that save and upgrade it. I know multiplayer's been a little funky lately. I wish we could use our headsets and actually speak to each other. Are you on terrain or in your freighter? Up terrain. Never mind. Uh-oh. It's rendering in. Looks like it might be pretty gigantic. Alright. Like the landing pad. Neat. What we got going on here? I like this. Very cool. We have a big circle. Where are you? There you are. And the garden you wish to have where? It's like, all of this. I like the flaming, yeah, that's nice. This is cool, I dig that. Right on with that. Where they just phase right in there? How'd you get that happening? Glitched him? Very nice. Very nice. That's my favorite part so far. Well done on that. That's cool. If I ever build a portal base, I'm going to steal that from you. Actually, I have a portal. I'm stealing that from you. On my planet, on my city planet. And actually, I'm going to keep that base simple. It's going to be a base computer with now that fire and a sign pointing saying city this way and however many units it is to it. Where are you thinking about putting the garden? Where are you? Where are you? Who are you? That's neat. Good use of that. Well done. Good use of that. Nice fire pit. I knew I'd start seeing a ton of these, like fire pits and cookouts and barbecues and nice bridge. Well done. Take a slight curve. Right on. I'm guessing this is where you might want the garden. Oh no. I'm hoping that these platforms are just, you're in the middle of construction. Where'd you go? Where the hell did you go? Okay, what is your questions? What assistance would you like? Why did it look like your player flew over that way? So for starters, what you would want to do is you need the border, you know, or if you're going to use your stone as a border, that's going to get a little Woo. Some of your fish tanks. Did you want them like that? Or did you want them all in the same spot? Or did you want to stagger it like that? That is kind of neat. Are they sized? Bigger, smaller? Yeah, it looks like it. Dwayne, what's going on? Alright, so the only problem I see here is any mistake, you're going to lose your... And, you know, are you looking for natural? Are you looking for something a little more symmetrical? Like, alright, hold on. May I? Do you have a save? Are you saved? Are you currently saved? Before I do anything. Now, do you want a stone circuit, like... How attached to this stone circle are you? Do you want it that wide? Do you know, I'm not sure, like, how did you put these in? Is it placed in, this looks like it's like every floor panel? Like a UA? Is this a universally adjacent stone circle? I wish we could speak headset-wise. Does anyone know how to get PC and console talking like this? I thought we had it working before. Sometimes it will work. And Xbox, I know I can talk. I used to be able to talk to Xbox players. Okay, so if I were to be building this, okay, and this is just me, and I had what you had here. Oh, am I going to deal with this? I may run out of resources. I have resources here, but it's for my build that I am constantly, I'm way overthinking this build. I need to, one of these days my brain's going to snap and I'm just going to do it. But I'm way overthinking it, and, you know, it's normal, and I don't build a normal a whole ton. I can't stack down. Guys, sorry, I'm going to be quiet here for a minute. I hate this. It's so time consuming. Just in order to move a frickin' short wall down, you know what I mean? It's like I wish they could figure out a way to make it work. Is that hitting the floor? Or do I have one more? I have one more. All right. I'm sorry. Double Dash, thank you for the super chat of the £10 or €10. Super appreciated. 07 Double Dash Gaming. All right, I'm about to delete a bunch of stuff here, so I apologize. I know how frustrating this can get. Rico Suave, use Discord. Don't even have a headset. Do whatever you like to it. Okay. How do you stream? Or do you record your? Oh yeah, that's right. You record your. Yeah, you don't stream. You record. All right. So again, I apologize for what I'm about to do. So I'm going to build it like if I were here, what would I do, right? And if you want to help, right now, I'll tell you what I'm trying to do is I am, you'll see. Oh, you already have a bunch. What am I doing? All right, so. Oh. Oh, crud. Since I can't find it, there's so much on the ground. I just want to make sure I'm staying within the border of what we got going on here too. You know what I mean? Across a little bit, that's fine. That'll be perfect for the other portion. And then you move down one. And we do that. Followed by that. And then... not that. It's going to be too long. Oh, come on. Multiplayer magic. Oh, come on. There we go. Perfect. And that goes with that same shape you got going on there. You know, it widens out a little bit here. But this is where we put in something else, perhaps. But it stays with the, you know, not right, similar border. Right? All right, so now if we can just drop all of these down, and instead of, you know, the garden portion of it, one, you need this to help hide everything, right? It's fucking that's the big thing, is, you know, trying to hide everything. Oh. And it gets a lot more difficult when you start adding the plants, especially if they do any sort of phase deleting. Like the cave creeper does, which is right now, in my opinion, the best ground cover for the moment until we get the grasses. Which is funny. It's like I just built these gardens, did the grass, got the whole thing down, and it's like, oh yeah, here's the grass that I know everyone wants. Which is, you know, great, so you can match your biome, you know, where you've, it's a very nice planet, by the way. Hold on a second. Are you sitting? Alright, fine. Alright, what was I doing? Get rid of these. Oh, I hate you right now. Pardon me. Probably could have brought this down. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that a short wall? Am I freaking losing my mind? It's too much though. It's a short wall -1. So we'll do it for the next one. We'll try. Just so we don't have to keep doing this, because this is a pain. It's a pain to having to keep dropping freaking floor panels and stacking things just to bring one to another height. Alright, so I'll leave you there for a minute. So now your top angles match your bottom angle. Your bottom angle matches your top, okay? So now you have a nice symmetrical looking vibe here. You know, now it looks like, now it's going to be a garden because you know, we've got the stone platform, we're not on the ground. You know, we've got, you know, this perimeter of what you're doing, so you still have a nice area to walk around in and do your other deco, right? Oh, thank you, Double D. Okay, Eagles, hold on. If you don't have a build part, and you get someone with that part to come to a base and build with said part, you would have access to that one part that they put down. So, for example, because I don't have the recipe for this grass yet, right? So, if I take this, I can't duplicate it, right? Because I don't have the recipe for it. So I have access to this one plant. All right. What did I say? It was 4 short walls minus 1. Oh, I still got to do the whole... Or do I? No, it doesn't matter. All right, no, it is... Idiot. I guess it's just easier to do it this way. I forgot what my count was, and I don't feel like trying to remember, so... We're just going to do what we've been doing. It's just easier that way sometimes. I know it's like it's a wall minus 1, I thought, but the stone could have been throwing me too, which is more than likely what happened. And that's the excuse, I'm sticking with it. And blammo. Oh, nope. No blammo. Damn it. No blammo. I missed the blammo. Alright, let's do that again. And blammo. Yes, we got the blammo that time. Alright. I'm almost building as fast as Boyd right there, man. Boyd is like the killer builder. Hold on, I gotta stretch my back. And I actually have to do that in real life. Alright, you do the last one. We got one more to do. It's all set up for you. All you got to do is put in the You just got to put in the full length. Oh, please, please. I don't like, there's so many masters out there these days. Look at Crisscross, man. That kid's freaking killing it. Doing some crazy ass stuff. Alright, hold on one second. I can't find, I'm missing something important, and I cannot find it. It's probably right under my nose, like usual, but... there it is. Alright. Alright, now you've stayed within your border. We have a much more park-like feeling to that, you know, right? Now we have, and it matches your upper border. Actually, I'm about to build something exactly like this, except minus the fish tanks. There's another thing I'm going to be doing, but it's pretty much exactly what we're looking at right here. So, thank you. This will help me with mine. All right, so this is where, is there any particular flora you want going on, or, man, this is not something I can build in one shot on stream, by the way. This is a lot of work to make one of these. But I will get you started. You can watch, and then you can kind of, what I'll do is I'll start from the inner ring. We're going to build around the fish tanks, but something to me is funky about the fish tanks, and I don't know if I should just leave it the way it is or rebuild it, but I'm going to leave it the way it is, because I'm sure what I'm seeing and what you are seeing from what you built in PC, PlayStation 5, you know, blah, blah, blah. I just want to make sure that they're centered before, because if you move anything at this point, you know, you could potentially remove large chunks of stuff once you start building. Bonus. If that does happen at any point, right, you can usually repair it. Unless it happens after you finished it, and if something happens and you remove a big chunk, then no, you're done. But while building, if you're building a section and you don't like something, you delete something and it takes out a chunk, you know, if you're using an older legacy flora, for example, something plantable, which I'm still kind of bummed that you don't get to see all the holograms. Sorry, I had to stretch my back. I am hurting. Not doing well on that part. That's a technical term, Paul. Yes, exactly. You can remove the fish tanks. No. If that's what you want, leave it. You know, we'll work. I'm going to work within, the parameters you set me. But see how now this has a nice flow. Everything goes with the bridge. All of your detail matches. You could, if you wanted to, you could go. For hardy har-hars. But, nah. And if you did, I would change the color. But, we got a nice, we got good detail. I wish up here had this detail as well. but we don't, so that's that. Alright, so let's take a look at one of these grasses, which I cannot copy. Let me see how high they get. Well, I want these bad. Is there anything under here, by the way? No? I can't, hold on. I just want to see something here. Perfect. Freaking perfect. What do we got for a collision bubble on these? Depends on what size you make them, it looks like. And here is the question of the day. Problem. Okay, so these are deletable, big deletions. This is one of those things, that is going to be an issue. So, I wonder if we're going to get any new rocks at any point. Alright, for this I'd probably start with the highest point, covering up each one of those with something. Oh. I was like, damn it, I don't have that. Now see how I'm mixing the rocks? That's, you know, one of the keys to getting this kind of Alright, we do have a collision bubble with that fish tank, but that's not really a big deal. Alright, this would probably be more helpful too if I turn my torch on as well, huh? Alright, let's stop being lazy. Sitting down building. Alright, and now, you know, you just kind of throw in changing angles up a little bit, randomizes, you know, a bit, scale, shrink, rotate, blend, like see, starting to blend in some of this here. Make sure to raise up a little bit off the platform. You're going to always want a little bit of room to be able to get your cursor underneath things like this here. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my initial border on my interior here. Now see how I'm able to kind of breach this rock into here. Mix it up a little bit. Right. Grab another one of these. We'll come into that later, but right now, you know, wire around. Because this rock has a bigger collision on it, so, and it takes up more floor space, so what I might do here is copy that, remove, move that rock, shrink it down a little bit. We can still have similar shape, but without so much size, right? Because we know we're going to come back into here, we're going to blend that out. Right, so we know we can actually change any of that if we want, see? Like so. Cover up anything that you don't dig on. Rotate your rocks every once in a while too. Scale that up a little bit, boom. Alright. Come around. Back that out. Switch over styles. Give it a rotate. Let's follow a similar shape right there. We're going to do that. And we'll rotate it around. Like so. Make that one a little bigger. Grab one of these. Bring that into play. Gotcha, gotcha. And basically, you know, I'm just trying to kind of randomize a little bit, you know, heights, you know, rock type. Kind of sneak in. You know, you don't necessarily need all the rock, you know what I mean? You might just be looking for part of it. And just to highlight an area where you might have a plant later. Like so. And at any point, you know, if there's something you're not 100% digging on, which a lot of it you won't really know till you start putting your plant life in. But what I'm showing you here is basically what I do. I just kind of randomize things a little bit, you know, kind of, change the level as I'm, we're going to start, we got a tall column in here, right? So what we can do we can kind of start it a little bit higher out here, then, have it kind of level out down here as you get a little bit closer. And this later, as we get towards these portions, we'll start removing sections and then building up to that, putting it in, calling it a day. Obviously while not, completely taking away from the fish tank. Alright, so now we turn off our torch so we can actually see what it looks like. Not bad. All right, so at this point, you may want to do a different, like, I don't know what you saved last, either a manual or an auto. So I would choose one of those saves where if you want to save what we're doing now, you have your old save plus our new save, and then stick to that one. You know what I mean? Is that making any sense? Well, thank you, Eagle. I'm glad I'm able to help. That is my goal, after all, is to try to help, either inspire creativity or help with a technique. Or to just show you something I built and I liked it, thought you might like to build it in your place. Like the teleporter pedestal, the SRT pedestal. Alright, we happy with the base design? And the thing here, D, is, like, I'm going to get you rolling here. Get you started, kind of see what I do, and then just kind of build your way out towards the outer bit. So I'll kind of do, like, maybe this, this short wall section here. I wish I had time to do the whole thing and help you out with it entirely, but alright. The other thing I would do, if it was me, well, it's a little too freaking late now. No, it's a little too late. Sorry, I'm getting all quiet again. This, I hope, does not delete things. I'm just curious to see here. And I would actually probably, if this were me, I can't build for some reason now. What happened? Am I out of material for it? No, I got 5 of 5. It just said base not uploadable a moment ago. That was weird. And I couldn't. Why am I not green stating? Alright, whatever. Okay, let me get to the next portion of the build here. My apologies. Paul. Is there a way to get the... Yeah. I would imagine you could manually do it, unfortunately. We could probably snap it, but I don't know where the border is for that, and I think the border for this would be more in... Yeah, it would be a little smaller than what we have. Hold on. tiny little rocks, like pebbles. Yeah, I think where the floor naturally sits, in order to spread it out, the garden, it would be too wide. You know what I mean? So to match them up, you'd have to be. This is where they match up. There's going to be fold over the tighter you go in. We could try another method of using I don't know, like a short wall combo, maybe, to try, but I think it's just basically based solely on, one, the border I was given. But I think if we were to try and snap it there, it's the circumference size. But the nice thing is that this fold over matches with this bump out, so that bump out and that fold over, if you look at them simultaneously, you could also, well, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Once the rock is up here, all right, and cutting off some of these, all right, as we have a little fold over on the rock, this starts to kind of disappear visually, right? Yes, we could probably spread this out by hand, to get this to match up. But you know what I mean? It's based on all the circumferences that are around it, I'm guessing. No, I would never do that. Geez, this was just one little spot that hopefully you've got saved. All right, so now what I would probably do is throw in the fireflies. 1, 2, flatten it out. Come on. I don't want to get too low because I don't want the collision bubble of that to get in the way. And we're going to be covering this with rock anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but... I'm trying to kind of roughly go with some of the angles of the rocks. We got to also make sure we're not seeing this through that fish tank, which I don't know if we are or not at the moment. So far, and we could probably go in a little bit larger with some of the rock covering the base of the fish tank. But You know, is anyone going to really be right here all the time? Oh, I see what you did here. Yeah, you have a 3 in a row. I would have went. I see what happened. Okay. And then, you know, this is how you're going to cover all that with other stuff. But now I would probably take a grass or cave creeper or something like that. Depending on what is available. Get in as close as you can. And I like to go like more horizontal whenever possible. These covers more ground. But again, it's, you know, all about being random, right? So at some point you're going to give yourself a little placeholder. That way you can kind of get in lower if you need to. You want things, you know, you always want to try to blend it in as much as possible. We're going to start with this. A little taller, you know, a little more clumpy than the grass. There's like a little ground covering kind of bit. So see what I'm doing here, D? See, I'm just kind of coming up underneath everything. Occasionally, like, hit the button, rotate it around a little bit. Move. Try to follow whatever contours you're working next to. Leave some negative. You know, like if I were to do, you know, this, we'd want to start moving stuff around. Sometimes I'll revert back, you know, to the normal size. Just revert back to the normal sizing and whatever. Have a little bit peeking out. Kind of see where you're maybe a little too sparse. Now remember, this is going to get into to have a little creeping out between rocks. Leave a little bit of a dead space here, maybe. We're going to need a little bit of that under there. Get your cursor, up underneath whenever you can. And you got to keep in mind your collision bubbles, right? So if you're going to be putting this plant in, it's got a pretty vicious collision bubble attached to it. So You know, you want to think about how is the plant going to grow. You know, it's going to kind of creep across here, and you know, you're just, you know, there's no straight lines in nature. Keep that in mind. There's no straight lines in nature. All right, nature doesn't build in straight lines. And if you keep that in mind, you know, it'll help you with building, you know, a garden or something along those lines, because you're like, oh, all right, it doesn't have to be symmetrical and snapped into place perfectly. And, you know, yeah, we could probably creep some stuff in there and hide some more of that if we wanted to. All right, so then you got a bit of your green, you got your rock, you know, you look around, you're like, all right, you know, is there something that visually is not appealing to you? You're like, wait a minute, you know, something doesn't look right. You know, like, wait a minute, should that have some, you know, something there? Should I put something there? If you think you should, do what we all do, you know, give it a save at a certain point, you know. You're like, all right, I'm happy with what I got right now, okay? So far, I like the basis. I like where I'm going, you know. You see, you have little nooks and crannies to throw a plant, you know, and then have this as a backdrop, all right? You were about to add in more stone, so you could actually bring that plant in, hide it with, you know, the stone. We've got our fireflies booking around, right? We've got the insects from the light. Now it's like little, you know, little insects in your garden. Double Dash, it's hard for me to do collabs. I take a long time to build. And sometimes I need a break from my build longer than I probably should at sometimes. I dig this, by the way. I love the height of this in the trees like this. I'm going to do something like that someday. I never build in green like this, and I think it's time. I really dig these towers and the bridge. Very well done, by the way. I like the... And basically, if you look at this is a tall version, although cut in half. That corner. It's just that corner with those arches. All right, so now, if you like this, I would recommend saving. And see here, you know, we've got still the fish tank. We haven't taken away from anything. We've actually enhanced some of the fish tank from this view, because we now have the plants in the background. We have some of the rocks, which is kind of covering up you know, some of the fish tanky part. The tanky part. So, now, you might want to add in certain of the more decorative parts. Like, what do you want to see here? You know, okay, now think about it like this, all right? When you're trying to decorate, all right? Let's get into this. I want to help, you know, people also be able to take their ideas and get it down, you know, so when there isn't somebody around to help out, you can still get your idea out, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, wait a minute, you know, what if I think about it like this? All right, so, again, for building, you know, this garden, look how natural this already looks. Why does it look kind of natural already, even with those lights sticking out of there, right? It looks natural because it's random. It's not stacked. It's not snapped into place. It's not overly symmetrical. Again, nature does not build in straight lines, right? So the more random you are with a lot of this, the more natural it will probably look. Yes, there will be points where you're like, oh, wait a minute. It looks natural, but a little too natural. And what I know you're like, wait a minute, what does too natural mean? All right, so say you're walking out in the woods, right, and everything looks natural. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's like a pile of brush, right? Because somebody happened to be walking through that path in the woods and cleared out an area and threw a bunch of branches down. Or there was a storm, and before everything broke down and went back to kind of, you know what I mean? There's like a clump of something. That's looking a little too natural. Unless that's the look you're going for, then by all means, throw a clump of something in your way. So, and this, I'm just trying to get you going on this here, Double D. So you're going to, right now how I'm kind of working this is I'm going to go around in a circle. I'm just going to keep bringing that circle, and randomly at some point, like where this light is, I'll try to cover the light first, right? I'm like, all right, let's get rid of that light. Let's hide that light. I don't want that light there. But you might want to plant somewhere near one of those other plants. You might want to put that plant in ahead of time. So I would start covering the light, then add some greenery, add some grass, add a plant. Pull the rocks forward a little bit, add a little bit, move over to the left or right, do the same thing. You're just kind of building in little sections. And that way, if there's something you don't like, you just got to keep in mind, where is that greenery connected to a rock? Because if you don't like the greenery you put in, you're going to be an unhappy camper. All right, so now what I would say is, okay, now, yeah, see, you got collision bubble. You're stacking that. That's what that's doing. So what you got to do is you got to get your cursor underneath. All right, so here, let me grab me one of those grasses, and see. So I'm going to first I'm going to cover this rock, or some of this light here. All right. Boom. Over here. Yeah, there you go. So you want to go underneath. Because that way, yeah, see how you can, now see how much more natural it looks? It's now growing up out of your object. So you're lifting your object up a little bit. And if you have to, you kind of pull the camera back and then down to the floor, get your nose right to the floor, get that cursor right skating across so you can get down and underneath that part in order to then, bring in your other part to make it look. And again, like, you don't want to get too clumpy, you know what I mean? And you don't necessarily need all of it. So I would sparse that around, like, all right, now hold on, because now we have to cover that grass, you know what I mean? So, say, like, see, now the grass has created a collision bubble. So you're going to have to move your rock in first, all right? Like, I can do that, but I can't get anything in here, really. A little bit, but I'm not going to be able to cover that rock. Or that light, rather. So, but now, because you've put that there, right? See, now I've deleted that. Look at all that just took. That took all of that. Now, if I delete that, it's taken all of that. All right, so you're going to have to reload. And that's what I mean by, like, you gotta, before just placing, take a minute, put a piece in, change some sizes, rotate it a little bit, try not to cover, unless you're looking for, like, complete grass coverage, something a little more like a lawn, then, I would approach this in a different way. But see, we lost all of that. We lost all the lights. We lost everything. Because of Crazy collision. And we'll give it a second for it to pop back in. You kind of getting the idea? Skang, what's going on? What? Are you kidding me, Skang? Someone on Reddit said after much experimentation and figuring stuff out, I finally managed to come up with a way to... Get me a picture of it, please. And it's just a copy of My New Garden. Are you shitting me? Really? Twitter will disagree with you, sir, or ma'am, or traveler. Alright, so you're going to want to reload there, Double D. And I will fly out and back in again. If I can remember. Or maybe it'll just pop back in, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Nice. Pop right back in. Alright, cool. I don't gotta go anywhere. Alright, so what I would probably do here first is... Alright, let me take a look at some of these grasses. And you gotta stay with a consistency, right? You don't want to throw too many of a different thing in there. You want to kind of find a... This is a nice one. This goes with the shapes of in there, see? Got a nice similar shape. So I would go with this grass particularly. You know, it goes with the fish tanks. You're going to want to shrink it down a little bit. You know, we don't want to lose the fish tank. And as a matter of fact, see, we put that right in the middle of that inner coral right there, right? Down here a little bit. Give it a rotate so it's not facing the same direction as the other one. See if we can't come down a little further. Rotate that around a little bit, bring it up maybe just a hair. Make sure you're not doing the same thing as the other one. Yeah, see, spread it around a little bit. Don't, you know, give the viewer, you know, multiple places to kind of look around. You know, again, talking about that clumpiness, you know what I mean? Alright, so now we got a little bit of grass. Now I got to make sure that I can get in here and still hide some stuff, right? And now I'm also going to cover up the grass in other ways with the rock. But at the same time, trying to hide our fireflies. Now we have a bunch of that darker colored rock over to the left. So now we're going to bring it in here onto the right. Use that to cover up some of that grass in there because it's a little too clumpy. So I'm just doing a little bit, Now we're going to mix in some of the other one. Again, still kind of, being random. Filling in, like looking at the shape of where you are, like, what the shape you're trying to fill in there. What's your negative space, right? All right, well, my negative space had like a bunch of round shape to it in there. And now I kind of straightened it out. So now I'm going to go with my straighter rock. Come in here. Turn that one around just so we can have a little bit of a variant. Raise it up, cover some of that light. Maybe tilt it a little bit. Again, a little random. Change the size. There we go. Maybe change the position a little bit. There. That's nice. Alright with that. Come around here a little. We got a lot. Okay, so we got that dark rock there. I'm gonna kind of come in here with this. Rotate it out. Look at your. There we go. Kind of step it down a little bit. And again, random. Like I'm just kind of like, all right, I've used enough of those rocks now. Let's add this rock in here. See, I'm just like filling in the negative, right? Hiding our fireflies, trying not to get too high. We still want those to kind of make it out. Alright, so now we've built out a little bit more rock, right? Now we've got another layer here, basically. I'm kind of building in layers with this. And, I need to be able to get underneath here. So some of the stuff, while I want it to start on the ground and I can enlarge it to kind of hide, at the same time I need to remember that if I'm going to get any plant life in there or anything else like that, I need the room to be able to do so. Alright, so now we have this section here. I'm just going to kind of build out to this area here, and that'll give you kind of a pattern to work with. So now see, I'm using I'm not going nuts. I'm just using like 2 types of grass here, right? We could throw in a third, but I wouldn't. Maybe near the outer edge you could change it up a little bit to a different style grass, but see how that grass kind of works nicely with the kelp style grass in there, and we still have a nice contrast with the cave creeper. Light fissures and the base terminus. Yeah, get me the link to that one on Reddit. I'm going to be like, no, you didn't. You watched my video. Normally, I don't care. Like, whatever, dude, But I've had this happen to me before, actually. I think it was either Dark Hellboy or somebody else was on German's No Man's Sky, or get German Thread. And I did my kaleidoscope. And then shortly thereafter, they came out with one. Like an almost direct duplicate. We know who the OG is. I don't post on Reddit anymore, so I didn't. Reddit I thought was kind of bunk. So see where I'm kind of going? And now, only because I don't know what the collision bubbles are, the grasses are probably the last thing. Like, I would go rock, fireflies, and then probably plant, then grass. Because see here, you got to keep an eye on where you're going to get collision. You don't want that floating. So now I would pepper in, a different plant, whatever you want as a, like here we would do like, a nice showpiece kind of plant, which by the way, I don't have all of that stuff unlocked, in my normal save. But you want, again, you don't want it to be floating on anything. You want it to look like it's growing out of the rock. All right, now, and think about a plant. What is a plant attracted to? Light. So it's probably going to be tilting in, towards the fish tank a little bit. And then other ones will probably be facing more outwards because, where the sun or whatever. So I would pick your plant style at this point. Pepper in, your color now. Okay, so you've got your green. Now you're going to want to throw in, whatever color. And you can obviously change the color later. But you're going to use your green as your backdrop, right? So your green is going to kind of highlight your colors, right? You're going to have a little bit of contrast like that, Oh, yeah, as I start to change the direction and everything, yeah. So, now you can do, you do that. Then, you're going to probably pepper in, maybe a little bit of, another rock here. You know, want to, you just see how I'm just kind of randomly going around, dropping in some stuff. Then I'll take, you know, some more of that grass or some of the other ground cover, depending on what you're trying to do. And I can't because I can't copy because I don't own it. We need to build another one. I have nothing to duplicate. But here I'd still, you know, prop in this other bit of ground cover. You know, so this is lower ground cover. Then you know, this is low growth. You know, like a moss. And this is grass. You know what I mean? Thank you, Skang, for the £2 super chat. 07 Skang. Thank you, homie. Alright. Kind of think, you know, Mary Quack and Prayer, how does your garden grow? Now, see, I'm kind of limiting myself because I got collision bubbles all over the place. But, again, that's kind of what makes it more natural, you know? I am working with where it will let me. Sort of like in nature. And then, well, nature will just take over. Nature don't care. And then, now we got fireflies up to about there, right? So now, I'm like, alright, I should probably add in another light. Get some fireflies cooking. One, two, flatten it out, shrink it down. Put on free placement. Actually, now I'm going to move that back into place. We're going to get this one. Oh. Out of our face. That way we can kind of come in here. Get down as low as we can. Alright, now because that back there is a little higher, right? I want to tilt that up because I want to make sure that that comes up and around. So now if you notice that this area is, you know, as we've added the rock, it's higher here, kind of slopes down a little bit. So now I know I can get a little bit of that firefly action down here as well as up here. And now, once we get that in, kind of see where we have all that action going on, then we get some of that cave creeper because I can actually get to it. Rotate some stuff around here. Yeah, see, I'm really limited right here, right? Now I'm going to kind of shrink that down. Or what I would do at this point is I would move this rock. So I don't have any, you know, I don't got anything here. So I can move this out of my way. Keep an eye on those plants. So now, if you could build me one of those bits of grass for me again, please. This one I could consider adding in. But as a showpiece, you know, this would be more of a, not a grass, but like a, you know, I would call it more like a, not a showpiece, but a, you know, peppered it in, not as a, like the other grasses we have, you know, are, more of a ground cover. This here I would do more as like what you see me do here now. More of like a every once in a while bit, you know. Throw 3 of those in. Now I need the kind of grass that we have here. Did you build a new one of those by any chance? Ah, right here. Awesome. All right, because now you know we're coming more forward again on that particular section. I'm going to make the grass a little bit smaller here. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. Okay. Grab a rock. Try and sneak in here. Perfect. Grab flour. Pepper that around a little bit. Carry the rocks out. Adds a little contrast. Alright, see what we got going on? Double Dash Gaming, thank you for the €20. 07 double D. Reverse small light features, egos. Yeah, that's what I did. What is that build part? Grass is that we're waiting on, Rico. Those will be coming in the next update. Yeah, exactly. The Cave Creeper is available, that's why I can copy it. Now, as long as I continue to build with it, we're okay. You know, but I can't make a copy of it. Alright, so now we're going to get some more rock in there. See, we got a little bit too much, clumpiness here, but again, it's not necessarily bad, but in order to kind of compensate for that now, what we're going to do is we're going to balance it out with a little bit more rock. Now at this point we're hiding some of that grass. Yeah, see, I don't like that. Get that cave creeper back in here. So what I would probably do now, actually, for this, the more I'm looking at it, is I would have that grass be part of this flower. So wherever I've got a patch of that grass, or put the flower down, build the grass, behind it. So I would probably pepper in stand back every once in a while, look at what you got going on, walk around it, give yourself, a little time to absorb what you've been doing. You get different layers on it. That way, because as you're walking around, you're going to see some different things, hopefully. So yeah, we could use a little bit of firefly action right here. Yep, that's good. Alright, so now I'm going to drop in a little more rock. And every once in a while you can kind of use the rock sort of highlight or hide. I don't want to get confused by the other grasses yet. Could you make some more of the current grass we are using, please? Do 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 do. All right, D. That is kind of what you got to do. You know, look for a spot, you know, that you may not have used one of your grasses, you know, or somewhere you might want to put it, you know, with another. And try not to go too. We don't really have a lot of plants, do we? Yeah, see, we haven't used that. We're not using it. So let's not use it. Did I get all builder sussy again? I think I did. That might have been a mistake, but. But see, nice and random, no rhyme or reason. You know, you all of a sudden you feel like you've been going too much in a pattern. You know, change it up a little bit. So you think you've been using too much of one item or not. I'm sorry if I've been missing anything in chat. I apologize. Like, I'm just sculpting at this point. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? That works. That's okay. And then just start peppering in your plants. Do you think you could carry this process on? It's really not, it's just not difficult. You know, it's just, you want to stay with a little bit of consistency, right? In terms of your plants. You don't want to go, you know, hog wild with every single plant, you know, because then it starts to become messy, you know. but you're trying to, you're building out your layers, all right? And like stick with, 2 to 3 grasses types or ground cover. And then, again, a couple of different, we don't have a whole lot of choices on that though. So, don't overwhelm your garden. The downside is it's a part killer, because to get it to look this natural, you're blending in a ton of different, rocks and whatnot, and plants and everything. So eventually you're going to get out to your border here. And with that, I like to have a little bit kind of creeping. If you wanted to even it out, but not through where it's showing through the wall, but just enough where you're overlapping the edge. And again, randomly, and this is the last bit you do. You build all the way out to about here, because now, not always, but a good portion of the time, if I remove this, short wall here, see how it took one of the rocks with it? So you kind of set one up and then use that as your guide or find some form of reference. If you start seeing there's a little lack of fireflies as you're walking around it, grab a light. And, and do that. And again, don't ring the entire thing with, the flat rock. Do what I'm doing here. Alter it, change it, rotate it. Like, so that this border as well it's not a straight line. And here, once you get something you like, and you're pretty close, then you're on your outside. Okay, you start your borderline here, right? And you're only going to be working to about here. And every once in a while, and then, shoot, did we? Oh no, it's right here. Okay, good. You're going to test, all right? You're going to bring a stone out and you're going to grab the wall and you're going to green state it and go, okay, what's folding over? Do I have some more room? Is it peeking out of the wall? Do I have too much of a gap somewhere? Do I want to maybe bring that in a little closer? Grab your wall again, green state it, look at where everything's sitting, and then go, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing, some of this cave creeper kind of, coming around to that side as well. But you got to remember, things could peek out if you don't want it to. And I'm just, kind of randomly like looking at it going, yeah, it looks all right, Looks like where grass, a mossy grass might grow. And now you can kind of see what it's going to look like when you temporarily put your wall in there. And if you're happy with it, you're like, all right, perfect. If you want some fireflies a little closer, obviously you're already going to be built out to that level by the time you get there. You know what I mean? So, you could, fill in this gap, potentially, but. Alrighty. Well, I hope that helped. I gotta eat something here. And see every one of these walls, whenever I move one out of the way, I always put in that holder bit. And then stand back, walk around. You know, I usually keep my torch off so it's not, you know, lighting it artificially. Yeah. And see how it's like there's negative, you need to keep in mind negative space, right? You don't want the entire thing filled with plant. You want to have that variety, keeping in a little negative space, continuity with similar style plants. You don't want like too many variety because then there's too much for the eye to look at. And you know, you start getting overwhelmed visually. And that's one of the reasons that my two gardens work the way they do. Please, somebody's got to like defend me on that whole waterfall thing. But the reason that they work is, you know, I try to keep it, you know, simple, if you will. You know, not too many different varieties of stuff. And there you have it. That's kind of the method to make one of these gardens. I want to see what this looks like when it gets dark. Oh, wait a minute. I don't need to wait. I'm in multiplayer. I can make it happen anytime I want. So, the next thing I would do here that I think will help is this. Ow. Although I would go with, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Those are right side up, so it's really not going to matter, will it? No, it won't. Okay. And I am not flipping all of those over. That's for certain. Ain't nobody got time for that. Why are you giving me a hassle here? Thank you. It's gonna be a pain in my backside. That's better. Cut down on some of the light. Not as much as I would like, but definitely some. Is that going to be too low? Yeah, that doesn't look right. Alright, what would I do? This. But it cleans that up nicely anyway. Just trying to cut some of that bloom down, some of that light down, a little bright on the center point. Might be because you got 3 fish tanks in there, but probably not. It's probably just a fish tank in general. No worries, Double Dash. My pleasure. Thank you for the frickin' donation, homie. Totally appreciate that. You didn't need to do that, homie. I would have done this for free. But I do appreciate, in my time of financial struggles, any help I can get. So there you go, my friend. Now, I want to see how you carry it through. And now is the time where you would like, you know, you got any mordite? We could use some mordite if you have some. Actually, do I need it? This is crushing. Do I actually need it to do this? Probably. I need the supplies. Yeah, it's something to do with console. The bloom on console is well, it's no good. I don't think I can do it without the parts. I could be wrong, but nope. Now this you'd have to platform. But this is when you would also throw in your flurb. Now you'd have to put this up on a platform or at least get it high enough. Hide as much as you can of the ring. But you got to remember he's got to come out somewhere too. Keep in mind the path he's going to take. Now you'd keep an eye on it. Alright, so he's going to dip in there. I would move this rock. Going to bring it up a little bit. Grab some of our cave creeper. And get underneath that a bit. Right, he's still kind of popping through that rock. Now now that you have it placed, kind of see where the path is. What you have to do to hide. Shit. Alright, this rock might not work. Or you gotta move it, or move another rock, or do something, you know what I mean, to hide it. You don't want it. Let me sit here for a minute. I also have my HDR on in order to stream, because if I don't have the HDR on, it's too bright. I mean, it's not bright enough, rather, I'm sorry. Without the HDR on, it's not bright enough for streaming. Oh, sorry, no, I got all quiet again. Trying to see what this puppy's doing. It disappear into there. You see it kind of moving around. Disappear into your cave. Right there is where you're coming out, right about there. Yeah, that should work. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to let you do the rest. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. That's why I was trying to dim that out. You know what I mean? Is your torch, if your torch is on, that doesn't help either though, homie. But yours is not. But yeah, that bloom on stream is a little bit ridiculous. Well, my friends, we've got the start of a garden here. Looking pretty good. And hopefully you'll be able to carry that through. I don't see why not. I think you got this. Something tells me you'll probably be just fine. Now this you kind of have little choice on symmetry because you're trying to cover this round thing. So unfortunately, I mean, you can do pretty good, but a lot of times with this, I'm just happy when I can, you know, get it to cover as much as I can. You know what I mean? You don't want to get in its path entirely. And it's, you know, it's tricky because you're, you know, see, that looks good. He's got a good exit there. And the entrance, you know, as he goes through in that area isn't bad. And you're just trying to use whatever you possibly can. You know, you're constantly sort of noodling about trying to cover as much of that as possible. We also have that plant in there, so that's going to give us some issues as well. But I could also probably remove this wall, be able to get in and under a little easier. All right, I got you a good start. You should be able to finish that up. Yeah, that's perfect. Dips in. Yep, that's good. All right, bro. Double dash, please. You've already donated today. Thank you very, very much. You don't need to continue. I appreciate that. All right. I have got you started. You have some reference to work with. You've got somewhat of a technique to deal with. I would save if you like what you're seeing. I would turn your auto torch off as well. That helps to... Yeah, it is a little bright though, isn't it? Yeah, you'd have to put that in ahead of time probably. That is mighty bright though. There's nothing you can do about it. It's in the center mass. I like the jellyfish in there though. That definitely works. That's one of my favorite things. Yeah, we got a good start on this actually. I can't wait for this new grass. I like that a lot. But see how it's got, you know, it's random but not, you know. You got negative space. It's not too clumpy. You know, your eye has a chance to be like, oh, wait, what's that over there? Oh, hey, wait a minute, what's that over there? Not like, what is all of this coverage? And then once you fill it all in, you know, what I would do as you come out is, you know, we're a little bit high in the center. And then you're going to flatten out to the, you know, just above this rim here. And then just kind of have everything run along, you know, that line. And that's when you can start making, you know, if you want, you can try to give yourself a little more of a circular shape or whatever. I personally would keep it random, but that's just me. And then, you know, you might want to pepper in, you know, one or two like exotic things, you know, or a hidden thing, or, you know, one large item, you know, or a couple large items, but not too large. Again, you know, the whole point is to keep it as natural looking as possible. All right, folks. Double D, I hope that was enough to get you going there. Awesome. I don't know how to do all that half the time. There we go. And then I'll celebrate with a heroic pose. I am celebrating heroically. I will do my heroic dance one more time. Then a cute girl walks by. All right, folks. All right, I'm gonna. I don't have that one. I should get that one. I'm gonna head back to my save here, and go from there. But yeah, see, like, I would finish, and add your plants in as you go. You do your rock, do a little rock, add a little plant, do a little rock, add a little plant. If you need your fireflies in there, we got a decent amount, but you're going to want to bring some in, probably starting around this layer here. It's starting to get a little sparse over here on that. Maybe do every other long wall or something. But yeah, and if you do run into more problems, or if you need some help, just hit me up, let me know. Other than that, there you go. So walk around your garden. Make sure you don't have like a clump, too much of one thing or another. So, I would, again, stick with the 3, mainly the cave creeper. And then, whenever you have a flower, put that other grass that I've got there near it, or as part of it. You'd have a couple in here. So say that's part of, that particular grass style involves that, cave marrow maybe. Yeah, although, now we'll call it something different. Maybe throw a different, just maybe one small thing in, with that other plant style, something that looks like it belongs with it. And maybe, or not, just keep it, nice and simple. But at this point, it's your garden. You grow it how you want to at this point. But that was fun. Thank you. All right, folks. I'm going to head back to my creative save. We're going to drop back into the city. And we're not going to do that because that's the wrong button I'm hitting. We're going to quit the mode select. We're going to thank you, Double Dash. And we're going to look forward to seeing how he finishes that. I'd be curious to see how you take that and work with it. Or you could delete the whole thing, start it again on your own. Because I'll tell you right now, if you decide you don't like those fish tanks, 80%, I would say, would delete on you. I would almost be willing to bet. That's a lot of collision. And we have stuff right up into it. So, there's my waterfall. And I've been doing waterfalls for a while. Even my other ones in the cave had a nice semi-realistic look to them. It's just, I don't like when people like completely rip me off and then claim it as their own, but then you look at it and it's like, if you did it better than me, awesome. If you did it half-assed, and I don't mind, obviously, this is why I do what I do, to give you these ideas, and to have you make these things. But give credit where credit is due. If I use something of somebody's, I'm going to tell, I'm going to be like, yo, I got this idea from so-and-so. Here's my version of it. Don't be like the natural waterfall, which I invented. It's like, no, well, no, you didn't. Although you never know. Maybe they did not watch me, had the same thought, and made a similar thing. I don't know. And, it would be a bummer if somebody, was sitting there, because I'll tell you, as soon as I start my stream, 10 seconds later, I have a viewer. Every single time. Now, that is a bot, in my opinion. But, I would be bummed, if somebody had been, like, just lurking in my streams all the time and then using my ideas and claiming them as their own. That would kind of be not cool. But, again, I do this to spread creativity and to try to, give ideas to use, like this, for example, but doing your version of it. That's just, that's kind of just what I ask. But, like, this pedestal, there you go. But again, I would hate to have that same cat, like, have this going on and be like, see what I made? I'd be like, no. And then I would find this person and be like, no, you didn't. Please stop. Now, it may have been made already. I don't know. Like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, somebody may have already made one of these and done it just like I did here. And if so, and if I had seen it by somebody and somebody had made it already, I would have been like, yo, so-and-so, gave me this idea, much like my kaleidoscope. Yes, the kaleidoscope spawned from an idea that someone had given me with a different set of parts, but I always make sure to mention that. Like, I wouldn't have created that necessarily without the inspiration of Jabwai, because we were hanging out doing stuff, and he's like, hey, I made this little thing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, what can I do with something like with that idea? And then that's where the kaleidoscope came from, and now those things are everywhere, which is awesome. I love that. I love seeing people's versions. I love seeing, where it's gone. But without Jabwai's inspiration, I never would have created the kaleidoscope in the first place, probably, All right, so I could make one of these now pretty darn quick. I could probably make one in 10 minutes. This is probably a good 10-minute build. I added this little antenna on the computer screen and some lights and, but that's decorative stuff. The main portion of it, would probably take a good 10 minutes. Yeah, we're starting to kind of fill in some of the gaps. Oh, I forgot to say, it doesn't matter. That's an easy fix. All right, folks. I guess that's it for me. It seems like people are dropping away. That was fun helping out Double D there, Double Dash Gaming. I can't wait to see what he does with the rest of it. I think that'll be pretty darn cool. All right, folks. It's time for me to get going. I want to thank you very much. This has been me, Kevin C., here at Action Fans Gaming, wishing all of you out there in the No Man's Skyverse a little bit of love, peace, and Starship grease. Get those action pants on, get out there, and start building some fun and wacky things. Until next time, take care of yourself.